Welcome to Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis as part of Feast Week. Final day, final game of the Battle for Atlantis. Who is hungry for a win? Top 20 matchup between Arizona and Purdue. Both teams have lost twice, and now on Friday night, the final game, one of these teams is going to go home with a victory. The other will finish 0-3 in this tournament field. On one side, for Arizona, the Wildcats have been led by Alonzo Trier. 5 games he has scored 20 or more in all 5. That's the junior from Seattle. The question is, how is he going to score those points? And for Purdue, Carson Edwards, the sophomore, just 9 last time out against Western Kentucky, where the Hilltoppers took down Purdue by a final of 77-73. Those are the 2 scores. Those are the 2 stars. Paul Biancardi is here, Kevin Fitzgerald. Now the question is, what are they going to do right out of the gates tonight in the 7th place game?
Well, for Purdue, Carson Edwards is the alpha dog of his team. When he plays well, Purdue usually wins. He's always thinking about scoring or shooting. If you're Arizona, you got to find him early in transition.
Purdue wins the tip in the white, Arizona in the navy. Top 20 matchup. We did not expect to see these 2 teams in the 7th place game, but now it's come down to the hustle and the hunger. Who wants the victory before heading back home? Vince Edwards at the top of the key, the senior, feeds Carson Edwards, and it's DeAndre Ayton, the number 3 ranked recruit in the class of 2017, with the rebound.
Both of these teams play strictly man-to-man. I'd be shocked if we see any zone in this game. Each has a 7-footer. Arizona starts 2 in Ristich and Ayton.
Whistle, and it goes against Purdue. Dakota Mathias, the senior, reaches in.
When you look at the big guys in this game for Arizona, DeAndre Ayton has a different style of game than Isaac Haas. Ayton loves the face-up game from 15 to 17 feet. Haas loves to play with his back to the basket.
And on the interior, it's Haas against Dusan Ristich, the other center that you mentioned. Ball poked free. Good active hands from P.J. Thompson. Edwards all the way. In transition, and you can count it. That's a big key for the Boilermakers. Can they run a little bit? Can they convert in transition? Matt Painter's team is trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak for the first time in 3 years. Painter has been here for 13 seasons, and he is the right man to refocus this team.
Well, Matt Payne has done an unbelievable job at Purdue. He knows it's early in the season. He's concerned about his defense, certainly his rebounding. But you don't want to see Purdue come January.
Alonzo Trier, sweet stroke. That's the junior, the preseason All-American.
And Trier can score the ball from 3 different levels. He's got a 3-point shot off the dribble. Loves to pull up. Terrific finishing at the rim. Just got to be careful with his shot quality. He's got to make sure he doesn't force it tonight.
That's a turnover, and the ball is going back to Arizona and Sean Miller's team. He's the reigning Pac-12 Coach of the Year. And when you look at both of these teams, both struggled with taking care of the basketball and defending the glass. That's the theme for both. Up to Ristich, and he beats Haas.
And both of these teams gave up 20 offensive rebounds. Purdue gave up 20 to Tennessee. Arizona gave up 20 offensive rebounds to SMU. Very unusual.
That is one too many. Isaac Haas, that was tipped by Ayton. He has such a long wingspan. He caught that one before it started to come down.
Ayton has the athletic ability and explosiveness to catch a shot late. He could be out of position. If he doesn't block it, he'll change it or alter it. Outstanding defensive presence.
No question. 8th block in 6 games. Haas fights for the offensive board and the stick back. He had 22 yesterday.
Well, Ayton and Ristich, they have to fight under the glass. Isaac Haas is going to bully his way in there.
Parker Jackson, Cartwright, out of bounds. Double dribble, rather. And so this is going back to Purdue. You see the record, Arizona 3-2, back-to-back losses. If they lose again tonight, they'd be just the second #2 ranked team to lose 3 times in 1 week, and the other Louisville in the mid-80s. This does not happen often. And Sean Miller teams always defend.
They defend and rebound, and that's where they're disconnected right now, is on the defensive end. Sean's coached Arizona to 3 Elite Eights, has done an outstanding job on the recruiting trail. He was fabulous at Xavier. Preseason #1 may be a little bit high for this young team, but when they get Rawle Alkins back, alpha dog competitor, will be a stopper on the defensive end. This team will come together.
Alkins has been out since September with a broken foot. Timetable 8 to 12 weeks, so that should be in the very near future. Dusan Ristic, a good open look. This is Thompson. Carson Edwards scoring close to 20 a game, can't finish, and Trier was right on his hip the whole way down the alley to Emmanuel Acott. 3 ball is short. A whistle. Offensive foul. It goes against Ristic, and that is the 7-footer's second. There's Alkins, has been out since September.
Kevin, we have 13 former ESPN top 100 players in this game if you count Rawle Alkins, but he's not playing in this game. A ton of talent, great size. 2 coaches who get their teams to the postseason, and they get it to the postseason deep. It's March Madness right now in November.
It is. That previous foul was on Ayton. Vince Edwards, top of the key 3.
I mentioned Carson Edwards was the alpha dog and the catalyst for Purdue, but I think Vincent Edwards is so important for this team, so valuable. 1,000-point scorer, 500 rebounds, 300 assists coming into the season. There's a lot of things he can do to help Purdue win.
He's on the Big 12 preseason first team. He rebounds Trier's miss. Matthias in stride. 10-0 Purdue run. Arizona calls time. These shots weren't quite falling the last couple days for Purdue. Vince Edwards hits the first.
You can't leave the Boilermakers open. That's a major concern for Arizona tonight.
It's been a terrific week at the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas. Our final game, it's a top 20 matchup, Arizona and Purdue, and the Boilermakers with an early 9-point edge with Paul Biancardi, Kevin Fitzgerald. We didn't expect to see a top 20 matchup in the 7th place game. You got to go all the way down to this corner. You have the championship on the other side. You see it down there? 7th place game between 2 teams that are potentially Final Four caliber teams. Sure, they've ran into a little bit of troubles here in the Bahamas, but now it comes down to who wants it more, who wants to leave with a victory.
We know these teams can score the ball, they can shoot the ball, and they have massive size in the front court. The question will be for these 2 teams, they both have the same keys tonight. Which team will bring the defense? And when I say defense, I mean defensive rebounding as well. Which team will bring the energy? And which team will bring the fight, the competitiveness for 40 minutes? They've showed energy and fight in spurts, but they haven't done it for 40 minutes, and that's why they've lost their first 2 games. And neither team, quite frankly, has played good defense at all. Not the defense that you would expect from Purdue or Arizona, but this will change as the season goes on.
Ayton with the flush, and he's at the line.
If you're going to start size, like Arizona does with Ristic as a 7-footer and Ayton as a 7-footer, you have to utilize the size. Excellent set by Sean Miller out of the timeout, the high-low. Ayton can go up and get it.
Vince Edwards was like, I'm getting out of here, and he was still whistled for the foul.
Now Ayton and Ristich have to play big on the defensive end. That's where it's key for Arizona.
Edwards from the corner. That's a strong rebound from Ayton. In transition, Trier, they left it behind him, lost the basketball. Matthias just hit a transition three earlier. Gives to Edwards on the pull-up. Through Haas's hands. And back the other way. Parker, Jackson, Cartwright. And he can't finish. He was right there.
He does struggle to finish at the rim. When he drives the ball, he usually looks to pass it. The energy is great right now for each team. You can live with the mistakes because the energy's high.
And Vince Edward connects the third Purdue triple today.
Biggest concern, speaking to assistant coach Austin Carroll before the game, defend the three-point shot. So far, Purdue has 3 threes.
Purdue is hitting at just 33% the first 2 games of this tournament from beyond the arc. Ristich misfires, and then the whistle underneath. There's Austin Carroll, who was promoted to an assistant coach. He now has on-court coaching responsibilities. Promoted as the video coordinator previously, he is Emmanuel Book Richardson's replacement, who's been placed on paid leave since September 26th, when the investigation into college basketball became public. Austin's from your neck of the woods.
He is. He played 2 years at Rutgers, transferred, played 2 years at American University, played his AAU basketball for the New England Players. His father, John Carroll, coached that team. His father, John Carroll, longtime scout with the Boston Celtics, took over as the head coach. Also coached at Seton Hall and the head coach at Duquesne. What else you want to know, Kevin Fitzgerald?
You've got everything on him outside of his Dunkin' Donuts order.
You want a social security number 2?
Ayton spins and beats Matt Harms. That's the redshirt freshman just checked in.
When you got DeAndre Ayton one-on-one in the post, and that time he was posting up low, wide, maintain contact, terrific target. He can score on anyone in the country in the low block one-on-one.
Harms from the baseline. He got it over Ayton, and the rebound to Arizona. So when an NBA team takes Ayton, perhaps first, second, third overall this upcoming NBA draft, that's a turnover, so that's going to stay here. What's the reason behind that?
Watch DeAndre Ayton. He makes and maintains contact in the low post. He's poised, he's patient, he sees the baseline, quick feet, explosive at the rim, great hands, has all the measurables to be a someday franchise center in the NBA.
Just before that inbound, a coach's box warning on Matt Painter and Purdue. They whistle him again. That is a technical. And now he's upset because he thought that was a clean defensive play inside. And it's Matt Harms whistled for the foul.
He wanted to travel, Matt Painter. And it was close. But Ayton has such fluid footwork when he attacks the basket. Let's see it from the top. Step, dribble, pick up. Looks like he landed that other foot down. Matt Painter may have a point.
That allows Arizona to get back within 7.
Looks like he took a step, a dribble, and then 2 steps.
Purdue, the best team in the Big Ten a season ago. Looking to bounce back from 2 losses. Matthias, a quick cut, and he beats Trier.
Purdue is so good at running their motion offense. Constant screens and cuts to the basket. You have to be alert.
Well, you said it. A bit more motion, a bit more fluidity on the offensive side today. Dylan Smith gets a nice bounce.
And the transfer from UNC Asheville can give this team offense.
Harms is cutting. Purdue leads by 9. The movement, the motion on the offensive side, Paul.
If you want to score on offense, you have to be spaced. Purdue does a great job of cutting, spacing the floor. Arizona got caught watching the basketball, and the big fella, Harms, running the floor.
So Purdue with 7 fast break points already compared to nothing for Arizona.
Well, Arizona also has nothing from the three-point line, and I'm not sure what kind of three-point shooting team they are, and I'm not sure what kind of three-point shooting team they're going to be. Parker Jackson Cartwright can certainly shoot standstill threes. Alex Barcelo could shoot him in high school. Dylan Smith needs to pick it up. And Alonzo Trier needs to just be more efficient. He doesn't have to take more threes. He just has to be efficient on the ones that he takes.
Just 19% from beyond the arc, 2 games here in the Atlantis. And Smith is going to fire from deep. Nojel Eastern brings it up, just made a nice defensive play on this side of the floor. Edwards spins it in. No, it rolls out and a foul. Just had too much twist on it around the rim. Second foul on Dusan Ristic.
Vincent Edwards, one of the most versatile players in the country. We watched him here at the Atlantis post up, hand out the assist, make open threes. He can rebound on defense and push it and facilitate. He does a little bit of everything really well. Can score one-on-one. He rebounds the ball at a high rate. Good free throw shooter. Just like to see him exert his will a little bit more into the games.
That's exactly what the coaches said. They don't want him shooting fadeaway J's. They want him with his momentum going to the basket just like he did there.
Really a smart IQ player with a lot of talent. Great size, 6'8". I think one of the most versatile players in the country.
It's the senior from Ohio. Purdue an 11-point lead, the largest in the early goings. Trier directing. He wants Ira Lee to get out of the way so DeAndre Ayton can go to work. He's catching at the 3-point line. Watch this. Shot blocked by Harms. And he's an emotional player. Timeout. Purdue leads by 11. DeAndre Ayton is the 7'1" freshman.
They go one-on-one in the post. Ayton and Harms, 2 freshmen. There's a block party in Nassau.
Paul Biancardi asked the question, who's going to come out with energy, intensity, focus? It's all Purdue early on.
They've been terrific from the three-point line, but surprisingly good in offensive transition. And how about the defense by Harms on Ayton on the one-on-one isolation? I love the defense, I love the energy, and I love the fight by both of these teams. Now they have to stay consistent. Offense is going to change throughout the course of the game. Those 3 areas have to be consistent. The team that does that the most, I believe, will have the edge to win this game.
Somebody's going home with 3 losses in 3 days. Astonishing that it's going to be one of these 2 ranked teams.
Well, the good news is whoever wins is going to beat a ranked team.
Yep.
So there is a blessing in disguise on that.
Right, on Wednesday it was disaster alert, but then it shaked out yesterday this way with both falling again. Trier late in the shot clock. Ira Lee, now he plays with intensity. The freshman from California was asking for a whistle, and Matt Harms is playing very well down low.
Ira Lee has done a good job on the glass for Arizona. He's been consistent.
About 4 or 5 rebounds a game early on. Remember, just the 6th game of the year for Arizona. This is still November basketball. A 5-man 2017 freshman class trying to find their way. Klein misfires and Ayton tips it out to Trier. Ira Lee is running. Instead, it's to... That's Brandon Randolph into the paint. Harms again affects another shot. So he has 2 blocks. A little too far, flings it over the rim, and Nojel Eastern gets bumped to the face. So that foul goes against Ira Lee. Purdue is doubling up Arizona. Coming up on the midway mark in the first. Eastern He's part of Purdue's 2017 freshman class from Evanston, Illinois.
Former ESPN 100 player.
Yep.
He's going to step into the role of Vince Edwards when he leaves. That versatile small forward. Matt Harms playing cheerleader right now for Purdue.
He is a freshman that plays with senior-like intensity and communication on the floor. Look at the black eye. You come away with a black eye, you know you're playing hard.
Well, the defense by Purdue is being stifling right now, but they're making shots. And when you make shots, your defense gets some energy. Great job by Ayton. He did a fantastic job in the second half. When motivated, he should be the best rebounder on the floor. He was outstanding against SMU in the second half on the glass and in the paint.
Sean Miller has been the head coach at Arizona for 9 years. Challenged us to find another freshman that is this good in Arizona basketball history. And he may be right. Vince Edwards attacking again. That's what you said you want from the senior.
Just want him to be more aggressive and more assertive. Doesn't mean he has to shoot the basketball or score it, because he's a fantastic distributor and a good rebounder.
There's Ayton again. Just shoves Edwards out of the way. That's back-to-back dunks for the 7'1" freshman playing in his hometown of Nassau in the Bahamas.
And that's a big-time assist by number 5, Brandon Randolph for Arizona.
Back to Haas. Over the left shoulder. Jackson Cartwright pushes to Trier. And he jams.
This is what was concerning to Purdue. Defensive transition. They knew Arizona is an explosive offensive team. If you're going to take some threes, you got to get back.
Foul inside.
Arizona. How about the pass from Brandon Randolph finding his freshman teammate DeAndre Ayton inside? That was easy. But Alonzo Trier making a statement right now.
Here he comes.
And this is Arizona basketball. The transition from the defense. But first they have to make a commitment to making those stops so they can't push it. They have the athletes, the scorers, and the size to score in transition.
Who's going to score outside of that duo? Ayton just hit the bench.
Well, talking to Steve Lutz, the assistant coach from Purdue before the game, he said that exactly. Ayton and Trier are going to get their points. We got to eliminate a third guy from going off. That's going to be a key for Purdue in this game. There's Coach Lutz right there.
His first season as an assistant with Matt Painter. And look no further than the last time out against SMU. It was Trier and Ayton. It felt like almost exclusively in the second half offensively.
Well, that's going to be the 1-2 punch. Arizona needs to find a guy who can score double figures. Now, when Rawle Alkins comes back, I believe he can be that guy. But it may have to be by committee until then. With Dylan Smith, Parker Jackson Cartwright can make open shots. Maybe Ristich a little bit as well.
Jackson Cartwright misses. Pinder the offensive rebound. That senior from Australia is very active on the offensive glass. Trier with a shimmy move. And there's a bump on the floor. That's before the shot. And so Arizona will inbound it underneath the basket. The next Purdue foul, and it's a 1-and-1 for the Wildcats. So Purdue led by as many as 11. Wildcats have it back to an 8-point game. The whistle is on Carson Edwards. Trier has gone for 20 in all 5 games this year, but he brought the pivot foot up. And a turnover. That's the 5th for Arizona.
But that's where you want Alonzo Trier if you're Sean Miller. Great play design. At the elbow, isolation. Take his man one-on-one. You want to isolate your best player, you want to do it in the middle of the floor where there's hard to help from. A great slip.
And Harms is at the line for one more.
Well, he better be careful swinging his arm. He's going to end up punching someone in the face. Unintentionally, of course. That's a quick slip. Goes to set the ball screen. And before he even gets there, he dives to the basket. Weak side help has been late in the last 2 games for Arizona on those ball screen slips. Great execution by Purdue.
You gotta love that intensity from Matt Harms from Amsterdam.
Well, that's what Matt Painter's looking for. He's looking for someone to bring energy, to play with urgency. They have not done it collectively as a group for 40 minutes. They've done it in spurts, but they haven't done it enough.
Harms was almost unavailable entirely in that game against SMU. Foul trouble, only played 11 minutes. So he may see the floor a bit longer.
Well, he also knows, Matt Harms, he's going against DeAndre Ayton. Ayton has that reputation, top player in the high school game, will be an NBA top 3 pick. Sometimes that can fire you up.
You can say that again.
You want me to? No. But, you know, these kids are smart. They know who they're playing against, whether it's a ranked team or a ranked player or a guy who's going to be on the NBA draft board. And sometimes that's the motivation for that game. It should be that way all the time, but it's not.
So it's a 1-and-1. Pinder converts the first. How about on the opposite side for DeAndre Ayton? You know, he's making double-doubles look very easy to get.
And the defense is coming at him every time he touches the basketball. He's usually double-teamed, and if not, he has a big, strong body on him. People are going to make it tough for DeAndre Ayton. He'll adjust because he's a smart player, physically imposing and very skilled.
Harms, good look. Even Ayton right there closing out from 5 feet away.
And he covers ground quickly.
Shot blocked by Harms, another one. He has averaged 3 a game. And he has a few more today. How about the drive? You like that fist pump? He does it on the defensive side as well. Coming from the paint. Get that out of here. Matt Harms, he's a redshirt freshman. If you haven't seen him play, brings a lot of intensity to the table, Paul.
He brings a lot of length, skill. Tonight he is fired up. And he's getting his team fired up. He is bringing the energy, and he's giving the energy to his team. Scoring on the offensive end, has 3 blocks so far, a handful of fist pumps. But that's what you need. You need this. When you play 3 games in 3 nights, you ask any coach in the country. You don't know how your offense is going to be. You have no time to practice. But you're counting on your defense. Who brings the defense? That's who will win this game. Who brings the energy? Right now it's Purdue. And who brings the fight? Will Arizona respond to the intensity of Purdue? Those are the keys right now for these 2 teams.
Going to work on Harms again. And he affects another one. That's his 4th block.
And he did a great job of not leaving his feet to foul. He is foul prone, Matt Harms. Did a great job that time.
At 7'3", the tallest in program history. He's also just the 6th international player to play at Purdue since the 50s. Matthias swirls one down. Boy, he went just 1 of 8 from the field yesterday. He was out as early as you could possibly be to get shots up today, and now he is 10.
Well, this is a team full of shooters, Purdue.
Ayton for 3. He's been waiting to connect on that triple all week in the Bahamas.
And Sean Miller lets him take that shot because he has proven the ability to make that in the high school game and in practice at Arizona. Ayton has a beautiful touch.
Top 20 matchup. Neither team wants to go home with an 0-3 record in the Bahamas. Carson Edwards. Sophomore from Texas. Scores over 17 a game this year. There you go. 5 Purdue 3-pointers and an 11-point lead. Trier fading away. He had time to set his feet. Not a great look.
Yeah, with him, it's all about shot quality. He can be a tremendous scorer when he takes open shots.
Edwards, heat check from this side. Timeout, Arizona. Largest lead at 14. Six triples for Purdue, Paul, and Carson Edwards. He's hit the last two. First, Dakota Mathias.
I mean, it looks like horse threes when it comes to Purdue. This is an excellent shooting team, but DeAndre Ayton, 7-footer, answers back for Arizona. And Carson Edwards, deep, the Houston native, with the alpha dog mentality. He's always thinking about scoring or shooting. With a hand in his face, no problem.
Six triples for Purdue, one for Arizona. That spells horse.
We're seeing the skill, the talent, the athletic ability of these two teams. The defense has been pretty good, but the offense has been better tonight. I mean, we got 6 minutes to go, and Purdue could hit 50. And Arizona can explode in a moment's notice.
Arizona gave up 84 points on Wednesday,
but they put up 90 against NC State. This team has no trouble scoring.
And pardon me, yeah, they gave up 90, still lost that game after scoring 84. And it is exactly what you touched on. How do you bounce back throughout the week? Here is Thompson.
Arizona just cannot let their lack of offense affect their defense.
Harms. Just like that. Jackson Cartwright looks, hits Randolph. One dribble, a shot goes down for Brandon Randolph.
Well, if you know anything about Brandon Randolph, and I watched him in high school, one of the best shooters coming into the college game. He's got size, he's got a beautiful stroke. He just needs some self-confidence.
Great career at Westtown School in Pennsylvania. Edwards pulls it again. What can you do with that one? A foul. Jackson Cartwright gets bumped in the air.
Well, you better get out of harm's way. Matt Harms with the slip. Second time tonight. And Carson Edwards right off the handoff. His third triple.
You see Dylan Smith, he threw his arms out. What can I do? I'm right there.
Well, he wasn't right there. He has to chase him off that handoff, or if it's a ball screen, you have to go over. It's a simple defensive concept when you play Purdue. You have to chase them off the three-point line. You have to make them dribble inside the arc to a shot.
He touched on this right off the top. And Arizona's big key was defending the three.
And you got to take away their airspace and their vision and make them put it on the deck.
That's a loose ball foul on Arizona. Emmanuel Acott whistled for his second.
Acott's going to be a very good player at Arizona. Love the defense he put on Shake Milton last night for SMU. He brings energy, he defends, and he's a good corner three-point shooter. All these freshmen are so talented for Arizona, but there is a huge learning curve, Kevin, when you go from the high school game to the college game. It's more physical, it's a faster game, and the floor shrinks.
Randolph, that shot followed by Smith.
And that's what Dylan Smith has to do. He's a capable three-point shooter, but he's got to get himself involved when he doesn't have the basketball. It's a great job going to the offensive glass.
Smith transferred from UNC Asheville, sat out last year.
Yeah, he's 6'5". He's got the size to take away the vision of Carson Edwards. Does he have the fight to get over those screens and handoffs.
That was a carry. Carson Edwards gives it back to Arizona. A 16-point deficit. Purdue with the lead.
Could be a good time to go inside 8.
He walked. And Matt Harms was in his way. Purdue is starting to suffocate the 7'1" big man. Purdue with the 16-point lead. The shots from the outside are falling.
Well, Carson Edwards lighting it up. He's bringing some rain to the Bahamas. Arizona's not happy.
Boilermakers up big in the 7th place game. Isaac Haas and the rest of the Boilermakers. This is the leap of faith.
Can he fit in there?
That's a 60-foot drop, and hang on. That's at the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas. Well, so that's at the top of your list tomorrow. You got to do it. If Isaac Haas does it, you have to.
I'll be there first thing in the morning, and if I'm not there, don't wait for me.
Producer Joe McCoy has already vanquished that slide, so you're up next.
Very adventurous man.
Look at the field. Next year during the 2018 Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis.
Some veteran teams next year. Virginia will have almost everyone back. Oklahoma will be a year older. Great field.
This is always a good tournament. It's been the last, what, 4 or 5 years or so where this has turned into an elite field every season.
But when
you're back to Arizona.
But when you come here, you want to be the underdog, not the favorite. Favorites have not done well this last 3 days, except for Villanova.
This is astonishing. This is the 12th game of the previous 11. The only favorite to win, Villanova. That's it. Those are the 3 victories. Every underdog has won. Purdue had connected on 5 straight made field goals. 6 to shoot. Acott for 3. Pinballs out of Ristich's fingertips. But it's ruled last touch by Harms. An Arizona ball that hit the rim, so a new 30-second shot clock for Sean Miller. And you brought up a good point, Paul, about expectations. This is the 5th time over the last 6 years Arizona has been named preseason #1 in the Pac-12. And you have to keep pointing out, freshman class, 5 new players, plus Dylan Smith. He sat out last year. You don't want to become bogged down by those expectations preseason.
No, you have to keep your perspective. Great pull-up jump shot.
He's looked good in a few minutes in the first half.
Well, that's what he did in the high school game. The 3-point shot, the pull-up shot. It's smooth, it's under control, and he takes excellent shots. He takes the ones that are open, and that can really change your shooting percentage.
That's a foul underneath, and Randolph was shoving Matthias. This court is littered with ESPN Top 100 recruits in the class of 2017 and beyond, not just 2017, years prior. I'll ask you this, who is the most, for your scouting, who is the most dominant in the high school circuit that you've seen? And then the next question is, how do you translate it to the college game?
Overall or in this game here you're talking about?
How about in this game?
Well, Carson Edwards, we put him in the ESPN 100. We loved him out of high school. And he stepped in right away at Purdue as a freshman. Made an impact. He's the leader. He's the heart and soul of this team right now. He's got a point guard's frame and body, but he's got a 2 guards game.
Oh, yeah. And he can pull it. He's number 3 in the white.
He reminds me of a guy who played at Boston College a long time ago by the name of Dana Barros. He also played in the NBA. But Carson Edwards, yes, he played at Boston College. And Carson Edwards stockier than Dana Barros, but long range shooters.
I think the next generation is at Boston College too, currently. son playing for BC. Edwards with time off the screen. There he is.
And that's what Dana Barros did back in the late 80s. Catch and shoot deep. He's got elevation into the shot, quick release, extreme confidence.
Game high 15 for Edwards, 4 triples.
Watch Carson Edwards get open. He runs the baseline. No defense at all. It's late. Goes inside. You can't go inside against the shooter off of any screens. You have to chase him off the screen into a dribble so they can't catch and shoot. Arizona sleep defensively on that. And for all the shooters out there, the more you move without the basketball, the more you get open.
I mean, we'd have to check the tape. I don't know if any of his 4 threes have hit the rim. He is on.
I don't know if they hit the rim, but they've all went in.
Oh yeah, these are swishes. So DeAndre Ayton back in the game. He was whistled for 2 fouls earlier. It's into double figures.
They run it again for Edwards, this time to the right side. If he doesn't have anything, they set a ball screen.
Down and out. And it stays here. And it rolls off of the Wildcats.
Beside the confidence of Carson Edwards, I love the lift in his shot. Just 6'1", but he elevates on that jump shot. And his shot preparation is second to none. He gets it off quick.
That's Carson Edwards to Vince Edwards. No relation. And it's back to Arizona. So yeah, only a 4th Purdue turnover. Giving it away 18 times 2 days ago, 13 times yesterday.
Arizona needs a bucket in the worst way. They need to see the ball go in the basket.
They're looking for Ayton. This is Harms with 4 blocks.
It's unstoppable. Unless you send a quick double. DeAndre Ayton in the paint is hard to stop.
Highest ranked recruit in the ESPN 100 era to commit to Arizona. The 5th Purdue turnover, and the Wildcats still down 15, trying to chip away.
You see 2 feet in the paint. The quick, explosive dribble gets him up to the rim quickly. And you talk about highest rated recruit. Think about Stanley Johnson, Aaron Gordon, some of the guys that Sean Miller has recruited over the years.
Sets the screen for Jackson Cartwright. Slips to Barcelo. Rebound to Carson Edwards. Less than 30 seconds to go. Shot clock is off.
Well, that's good pick and roll offense. They had Ayton dive into the basket. They threw it back to Barcelo, the lift guy, wide open.
Purdue leads by 15. 8 3-pointers have gone down for the Boilermakers. Now Edwards fading away. It's a 17-point lead. 4 seconds to go. Clock is running, and Trier from half court. 29 points combined for Carson and Vince Edwards. Huge lead for Purdue over Arizona. 50 first half points, Paul, allowed by Arizona in this first half. It has been a complete 180 the last few days for the Wildcats defensively.
And the scouting report coming into this game was to take away the 3-point shot. That has not happened. Purdue, 8 made threes. I expect Sean Miller to get his team to extend even more on the 3-point line.
You watch Carson Edwards at Atascocita High School in Texas. He has pulled that shot all night. He has 15. second half coming up when we come back. But first, let's take a look back at the highlights of the championship game of the Battle for Atlantis. Find out how Villanova cruised to victory over Northern Iowa when we return.
The celebration on the floor and the team on the floor raising the trophy one more time. Villanova, they win the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis Championship by a score of 64-50. It's been a pleasure to watch Villanova. They have really done it in the second half of their 3 wins in 3 days. Dick Vitale, there's a lot to like about Villanova and even room for growth.
Well, there's no question. I think they'll get better and better as Spellman and Pascal give them a little bit more in interior. But they got a great combination when you talk about Brunson and Bridges.
Yeah.
And Booth will find his shot. I really believe that. And I'm telling you, those 2 guys, Brunson and Bridges, there's Bridges in transition, very strong to the basket, has great moves around the goal. And then there's the great orchestra leader, Brunson. He can make the medium range shot, he can beat you off the bounce, he can make the 3-point shot. I'm going to tell you, this is a club that can create a lot of noise all year long.
Given the struggles of the other big schools that were here, Arizona obviously, Purdue obviously, why was it, and maybe it's Brunson, that they were able to sort of navigate the waters, if you will? Why?
Well, because number one, when you think about Brunson and you think about certainly Bridges, they have that incredible ability that's called the winner's mentality.
Yeah.
They have that winner's mentality, understanding what is a big shot, what's an important shot, and they have the ability to convert. And there's the trophy,
There's
baby.
the trophy. They won this tournament in 13. They won a November tournament in 14, 15, 16, and they do it again here in 17. They are enjoying themselves as champions here in Atlantis.
At the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, our final game of the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. Purdue with a 17-point lead over number 2 in the country. Carson Edwards and Dakota Mathias have been the distributors. Matt Harms, he's trying to lead Purdue to a victory over number 2. Second half next. This is the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. One of these 2 top 20 teams is going home with 3 losses in the Bahamas. It is a fight to the finish. Purdue came out and stamped Arizona in the first half. Now, this is our last one. This has been a terrific week of basketball inside the Imperial Arena with Paul Biancardi, Kevin Fitzgerald. So early on for Purdue, it was Matt Harms, Carson Edwards later in the half. Boy, 17-point lead. They made it look easy in the first half.
Well, Harms is doing it inside, and Carson Edwards is doing it outside, and Purdue is doing it behind the 3-point line. 8 for 13 so far in the half. But the freshman, Matt Harms, rejecting shots on defense, and offensively, the quick slip to the basket. That's been open twice tonight. There's the energy and emotion that Matt Painter has been looking for, as well as the 3-point shot. Carson Edwards comes into the Battle for Atlantis, shooting 41% from 3. 4 for 7 right now, and Arizona has to find them.
Take a look at this. 8 for 13 from beyond the arc. You were talking to the Arizona coaches. They said, we've got to defend the 3-point line.
That was the key to the game for Arizona, to take away the 3-point shot, limit the 3-point shot. They didn't execute that very well defensively, and offensively they struggled. Right now, you could say that Arizona's a mess.
Now, Alonzo Trier has gone for 20 or more in 5 straight games, but it's how he's getting those points. First halves, he has not been himself, but the ball's been in his hands in the second half, Paul. The question is, what's he going to do tonight?
Well, Arizona's going to come out aggressive. There's no question about it. Sean Miller, 3-time Elite 8 coach, great player at Pittsburgh. I've known him for a long time. He knows his team is out of sync both offensively and defensively, but he knows to get it into the big guy in DeAndre Ayton. They're going to continue to go into Ayton all game.
And he was asking for a foul. Double figures in all 6 games to start the year for DeAndre Ayton. Dakota Mathias, he has come back with a force today after a rough shooting night yesterday. 5 of 6 from the field for the senior from Ohio.
Let's not make no mistake about it, Purdue's a hard team to defend because of the 4 shooters on the perimeter, big guy inside, whether it's Hans or Haas. Arizona's got to score so they can set their defense. Be patient, work it hard to get an open shot.
No, that's a bad pass. Matthias finds Edwards slipping and brings it back out. Edwards finds the basketball. Open look. He can't miss today.
And that was Emmanuel Acott closing out. 6-7. Carson still knocks it down.
And Sean Miller burns a timeout. 1 minute and 26 seconds into the second half. From down 17 to 20. Carson Edwards.
Can't miss in the Bahamas, man.
You've got to locate Carson Edwards. He has 18 points. And the sophomore from Texas with 5 threes. And Purdue up 20 over number 2 Arizona. These are the shooters. It's hard to locate just one when everybody is connecting. Look at the numbers from beyond the arc from a season ago for these Purdue shooters. And today, they about near can't miss.
And Matt Painter takes those 4 or 5 of those guys and surrounds them with Isaac Haas inside, and that's why they're one of the best offensive teams in the country. They're hard to guard. I think they're one of the best inside-outside teams. But clearly they beat you with the 3-point shot. Haas can get his almost every night. I'd rather have him get 2s than them get 3s.
And Edwards creates the steal. In transition. Here he is. And he lost the ball. Trier traveling violation.
That's the second travel on Trier. I noticed when he goes to the basket, I think he's predetermining a move. Like that time I thought he wanted to do the Euro step. Don't know if it was needed when he was trying to avoid the defender. I think he's got to be more aggressive and attacking and not think so much.
He's turned it over 3 times today.
And he's got to read the defense and not predetermine what they're going to do.
Well, especially in transition. 18, that's a half-court lob. Whoa! 18 points for DeAndre Ayton. That backboard is still shaking on the other end of the floor.
How about the assist, the 4th assist for Jackson Cartwright? Put it right on a plate.
That is to turn it over. Last year, the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the Pac-12.
And he is a solid, steady, good shooting point guard.
Haas flicks the wrist.
Haas has improved so much under Matt Painter. Don't forget, A.J. Hammonds was the go-to guy inside. Then Caleb Swanigan. Now Haas has taken over in that role as the back-to-the-basket go-to guy. And that takes time to adjust mindset and physically.
That's just the second 3-pointer for Arizona today. They have really struggled from beyond the arc. Brandon Randolph.
Well, that's a great sign for Arizona. He has the ability as a freshman. Does he have the confidence?
Matthias, no. Right into Edwards' hands. On the pull-up.
Well, he's more than a shooter, Carson Edwards. The ability to score buckets inside the arc and at the rim with the 3-point game makes him one of the most dangerous offensive players in college basketball.
Ristic off the screen. It's a good look, but the Serbian misfires. Look at the score. Look at the deficit. And this isn't a rarity this week. Arizona has been playing from behind all week.
And it's tough, especially on the defensive end. You start to bend and then break because the ball doesn't go in the basket.
Jackson Cartwright to Randolph. He's in the opposite corner. Back-to-back threes, and you hope that's the spark for the Wildcats. That's 10 points for Randolph. He's the freshman, so that's his new career high.
Well, he's earning minutes right now. for the rest of the season. When you come into a game off the bench and you take good shots and you make them, you earn the trust of your coach.
Offensive foul. What do you have, a 7'1" big man running? Just throw it up to him, right?
Yeah, throw it anywhere. DeAndre Ayton, he'll run and get it. Beautiful pass by Jackson Cartwright. Big fella, easy at the rim. And then Brandon Randolph, the other freshman for Arizona. It's a good sign for the Wildcats.
Boy, I love this field. The PK80, the Phil Knight Invitational presented by State Farm. The championship games are on Sunday. Now we have two semifinals still to be played at midnight Eastern on ESPN. UConn and Michigan State to take on North Carolina. So they smoke Arkansas even without Cam Johnson, a great pure shooter. And then on the other side, the motion bracket. Duke takes care of Texas. That game in overtime. Paul Biancardi, you've said Texas is going to be a good team this year. And then you get the top 20 matchup at 11 Eastern in about 13 minutes or so.
Well, the freshman for Duke, Marvin Bagley III, had a big-time game. 34 points, 15 rebounds. That Florida-Gonzaga game, so much experience in the backcourt. Chris Chiozza for Florida. For Gonzaga, they have Josh Perkins, Silas Melson. Talented, experienced backcourts.
Well, Mike White has done a wonderful job at Florida the last few years. They're going to push Kentucky this year. They maybe could overtake them in the SEC. And that's a bullet out of bounds. So right when Arizona, they just hit that three, and right before the break and the turnover.
You never want to have turnovers, but that was an aggressive turnover. And if you're Sean Miller, I think you can live with that one. You can't live with the ones that are lack of aggressiveness or not intelligent.
Yeah, it's the third second-half turnover for Sean Miller in 5 minutes of the second half.
Now, we know Arizona's in a funk, and obviously they have a lot of work to do. Get their identity offensively. They have to get connected defensively. But mark my words, through practice. But mark my words, in January, Rawle Alkins will be back. This team will be together. And it'll be a totally different team than we see right now.
Boy, Ayton had to catch that one low, and it was knocked out of his hands.
The identity will work itself out. Ayton, they know, can score. He's going to get more touches and more shots. And he's playing with good attitude, really good effort under Sean Miller. Trier can get his buckets. Trier needs a film session on efficiency. He has to see what shots are open and which ones aren't. And the rest of the guys just have to fill in around those two.
Purdue defending well.
And Parker Jackson Cartwright's got to keep it together.
Ready to shoot. Tremendous defense. They didn't block out Ayton. Haas pins that one off the backboard. Oh, his front court teammate Matt Harms with 4 blocks, and Haas getting in on the act, now 5.
And that was a man's block against the man.
That's with 2 hands. Matthias, yes!
And you got to make that decision when you play against Isaac Haas. Do you dig it? Do you double it? You risk a lot because you leave shooters open.
Alonzo Trier. Silky step back, that's a long 2.
And when Trier's under control, he can create his own shot as well as anyone in the country.
That's his first points in 16 minutes. You highlighted it, his second half success. When and will it get going? Haas is fouled. That's on Ayton.
How about the battle of the giants? Isaac Haas doesn't even leave the floor to block DeAndre Ayton's shot. And how about the inside-outside game for Purdue? Great awareness by Haas to find the open teammate. He impacts the game at both ends. Not the most athletic dude on the court, but he plays hard, and he is a physical presence on both ends. His scoring numbers have gotten better. His free throw game, I'd like to see him rebound a little bit more. He's a tremendous screener.
the ovation for the Hoax Bluff, Alabama senior. Matt Harms back in with 4 blocks.
He actually committed to Wake Forest out of high school, and Jeff Bezdillik. And when Coach Bezdillik was let go, Matt Painter picked him up. Nice little present.
It's a nice little 7-foot duo that Matt Painter has. That's Ayton.
Now the tools are starting to come out for Ayton. The three-point shot, the alley-oop dunk, the jump hook. And he can score in a variety of ways for a big man. I love the fact that Arizona keeps going to him.
So he is right on his average with 20 points. P.J. Thompson has been quiet no longer. Barcelo goes tumbling. Thompson gets in on this three-point fest. 11. The foul, though, is on Thompson. That's his third. And the Boilermaker faithful, they give him the applause heading to the bench. That's Eastern back in.
Well, the first 4 minutes of the second half, Arizona put some buckets together. They hit a few threes. Brandon Randolph. They showed a spurt, and then Purdue answered. We talked about this the other day. Bounce back ability. You're playing games in consecutive nights. Can you bounce back?
Still 12:45 to go in the second.
And they're putting no gel Eastern on Jackson Cartwright for the size factor at 6'7" to try to take away his vision.
How about 4 freshmen on the floor, or excuse me, 3 for Arizona. And there's one of them, DeAndre Ayton, 22.
Now they have to make consecutive stops and get this to a dozen.
Need that run sometime soon. Purdue is led by as many as 20. Oh my. Way out there. Rebound to Vince Edwards. A layup from where he took that previous 3. And look at the hustle. No gel Eastern on the floor, but Arizona runs out. Trier driving. Blocked by Harms. He has 5. Eastern underneath. Timeout, Arizona. Purdue leads by 20. Where's the energy, Paul Biancardi?
It's with Purdue. Matt Arms bringing the energy and bringing the blocks. Purdue's defense sparking their offense.
Point of no return for Arizona, the second-ranked team in the country. Lost to NC State, lost to SMU. So take a look at these numbers. Purdue has 69 points, Paul. There's still 11 and a half minutes left in this ball game. In Arizona's 3 wins back in Tucson, they allowed just 68.
Competition a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
NC State, SMU, and Purdue, not only different competition, but different challenges each night. Tonight it's the three-point shot. SMU, the versatility, the offensive rebounding, and NC State just pressured Arizona all game long.
Look, you don't want to get too much into the rankings, especially in November, but you know, we can ask where is this team going to be come Monday, but how about the number 2? Is that fair? Do you like that to start the season for a team with 5-man 2017 freshman class?
I think with a healthy Rawley Alkins, that was okay.
Yep.
With him being out, it's unrealistic. You have to work in 5 freshmen.
There's Jackson Cartwright. All right, so back to an 18-point game.
You have to work in 5 freshmen. A senior in Jackson Cartwright, Trier, an upperclassman. It takes time to gel, get chemistry. They have to get chemistry off the court.
Jackson Cartwright, he poked it away for a moment. And again. Leaves it for Ira Lee. Oh, and it's gets into Edwards' hands. That's one the Wildcats have to convert.
But when you watch Arizona, you see spurts of great defense, and you can see how they can score in transition very quickly, very explosive. They have the pieces. They just have to get the chemistry, and the energy has to increase.
All these screens, and Eastern, he traveled. Brought up off the court, too. That's a good point. This is not just hop on the floor of the Bahamas and win 3 in a row. It takes some time to gel.
And you're looking at an experienced team with Purdue. You have 4 seniors, guys that are battle-tested. Purdue played in the World University Games. They played about 8 to 10 games. They started practice in June. Coming in, I thought they were going to be in mid-season form. They struggled early. They look great tonight here at the Atlantis.
Klein got it on the backboard, and Ira Lee is whistled for the goaltend. Arizona just cannot break free from this large deficit.
Well, the more they continue to struggle to score, the tougher it's going to be for them to defend the rest of this game. If they can score with some pace, that will energize their defense, and they have the talent to put on a run.
Trier, he is fouled on the way up. Boy, they are swarming him in the paint.
When he touches the basketball, Alonzo Trier, and this is going to happen all season long, he's going to have a man on him. He's going to see a help defender. He has to understand to give it up, to move, come off a screen, get it back. I think that happens in practice. It happens watching himself on film and believing and buying in to the concepts that Sean Miller is teaching him. I mean, he's clearly the go-to guy. You need a bucket, you go to Alonzo Trier. Shot clock's winding down. But before that, you got to really work to get open shots.
A lot of those 18 and a half over the first 2 games at the ring.
I mean, in high school, he was a dominating scoring guard. Could hit consecutive threes, lived at the free throw line. It's all there, it just has to come together.
And let's not get too ahead of ourselves. There's still 9 and a half left. But you mentioned film a couple times for Sean Miller's junior guard. What specifically is he going to watch for come Monday?
Well, he's going to watch a lot of film of all 3 games, but when it has to do with Alonzo Trier, I think you're going to show him his shot selection. His defense as well. He lost his man several times, and just the decision-making of when to go and when to move the ball.
Hey, this is big for Arizona. The last time the Boilermakers. Welcome to Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis as part of Feast Week. Final day, final game of the Battle for Atlantis. Who is hungry for a win? Top 20 matchup between Arizona and Purdue. Both teams have lost twice, and now on Friday night, the final game, one of these teams is going to go home with a victory. The other will finish 0-3 in this tournament field. On one side, for Arizona, the Wildcats have been led by Alonzo Trier. 5 games he has scored 20 or more in all 5. That's the junior from Seattle. The question is, how is he going to score those points? And for Purdue, Carson Edwards, the sophomore, just 9 last time out against Western Kentucky, where the Hilltoppers took down Purdue by a final of 77-73. Those are the 2 scores. Those are the 2 stars. Paul Biancardi is here, Kevin Fitzgerald. Now the question is, what are they going to do right out of the gates tonight in the 7th place game?
Well, for Purdue, Carson Edwards is the alpha dog of his team. When he plays well, Purdue usually wins. He's always thinking about scoring or shooting. If you're Arizona, you got to find him early in transition.
Purdue wins the tip. in the white, Arizona in the navy. Top 20 matchup. We did not expect to see these two teams in the 7th place game, but now it's come down to the hustle and the hunger who wants the victory before heading back home. Vince Edwards at the top of the key, the senior, feeds Carson Edwards, and it's DeAndre Ayton, the number 3 ranked recruit in the class of 2017, with the rebound.
Both of these teams play strictly man-to-man. Be shocked if we see any zone in this game. Each has a 7-footer. Arizona starts 2 in Ristich and Ayton.
Whistle, and it goes against Purdue. Dakota Mathias, the senior, reaches in.
When you look at the big guys in this game for Arizona, DeAndre Ayton has a different style of game than Isaac Haas. Ayton loves the face-up game from 15 to 17 feet. Haas loves to play with his back to the basket.
And on the interior, it's Haas against Dusan Ristich, the other center that you mentioned. Ball poked free. Good active hands from P.J. Thompson. Edwards all the way. In transition, and you can count it. That's a big key for the Boilermakers. Can they run a little bit? Can they convert in transition? Matt Painter's team is trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak for the first time in 3 years. Painter has been here for 13 seasons, and he is the right man to refocus this team.
Well, Matt Painter has done an unbelievable job at Purdue. He knows it's early in the season. He's concerned about his defense, certainly his rebounding. But you don't want to see Purdue come January.
Alonzo Trier, sweet stroke. That's the junior, the preseason All-American.
And Trier, invitational. Talk about experience and teams that can spread you out and shoot you out. With Bonzi Colson as a mismatch in Michigan State. Experienced, talented. It's going to be a great game.
Sean Miller, you see to his right, Lorenzo Romar, the previous head coach at Washington. And after 15 years, Sean Miller, after Romar's relieved of his duty, says, I've got a spot for you. And that's a testament to both of those two to say, Sean reaching out to Romar, and then Romar saying, yeah, let's do it.
Exactly. How about the security and the confidence that Sean Miller has in himself to hire not only a former head coach, but a head coach who he went against in the Pac-12.
Sean Miller, 9 years.
Yeah, Sean Miller is so smart that he wants to surround himself with the best people. And as you mentioned, Lorenzo Romar, changing colors, staying in the profession.
7:40 left. Good drop-off pass for Pinder, and that slices off the rim.
And Romar is a great voice of reason for Sean Miller. I think those two really complement each other very well.
Mark Phelps and Austin Carroll also alongside Miller on the bench. Haas, that's his move with the right hand.
You don't want Haas to get to that jump hook because he can shoot it over you. He's got vision, he's got extension, much improved touch.
Ayton the three-pointer. You like that shot?
He can make it. DeAndre Ayton can clearly make an open three. I'm fine with that shot.
Foul is on Keanu Pinder with 7:01 left. Just a few moments ago, Arizona was within 12.
Now, I love him in the post.
Yep.
Because when they isolate him in the low post, he catches it and finishes it. Especially the lobs over the defense. He's terrific from the elbows and the nail. The nail is right at the foul line. Mid-post. But he's very capable from the outside facing up.
7 minutes left. Arizona down 16. The Wildcats have not lost 3 in a row since Sean Miller was in his first year as the head coach in February of 2010. Edwards, long range, no.
And watching Sean Miller on the sideline, as intense as ever, but extremely positive with his team right now. Look at the coaching staff. Lorenzo Romar, you said Mark Phelps. These guys are coaching him up.
This is a big one for Trier. Down and out. Dylan Smith following, and Ryan Klein secures the rebound. And off to the races again. Carson Edwards. And this is into Klein's hands, and then Matthias comes over to Navit. They start to slow.
Yeah, Matt Painter wants to grind a little clock right now. No reason to shoot quick. Keep Arizona on defense. Look for your shot.
What an offensive foul.
That's okay.
It goes against Ryan Klein.
Yeah, if you work your offense, I mean, Purdue's got good looks most of the night. You don't want to feed into a faster tempo right now. You still want to be aggressive, but you don't want to be quick.
And back-to-back fouls. It's a blocking foul on Carson Edwards, so a 1-and-1 coming up for Arizona. That's the 17th foul on Purdue. It's a 16-point game. This is just one area of it, but you glance at the shooting from beyond the arc, and Purdue has 8 more three-pointers than Arizona.
Well, coming into this game, we knew that Purdue was a great shooting team, and Arizona not so much. They were less than 20% from the three-point line coming into tonight's game. 47% from the field. Only 65% from the line in 2 games. For a Sean Miller team, it all starts with ball pressure at the top, denial on the wings. They do play a lot of pack line defense. But when that shot goes up, there's got to be a body there defensively. And there's got to be 5 guys, not DeAndre Ayton and not Ristich. 5 guys blocking out and getting that defensive rebound. Then this will change.
Matthias, what a good-looking shot. The senior from Lima, Ohio with 19, a bounce-back effort to close out his trip to the Bahamas. Smith up in the air. Pinder, he's been active on the offensive glass this week. And Trier gets a second look from beyond the arc. This is going the other way. It's a foul on Ayton. He has 4. So both Arizona 7-footers with 4 fouls. And then the man on the other side, the only player with 4 fouls for Purdue, that is P.J. Thompson. He's back on the floor. It's 5:18 left, but down 16.
And the effort's been good. The shooting has been terrible, but the effort by Arizona, I'm impressed with. They've been down all game. They've been beaten down here at the Atlantis, but they really haven't lost their effort. It comes and it goes.
Isaac Haas, the 4th Purdue player in double figures.
It's like Purdue's been waiting for this game for the last couple of days.
Foul on Edwards. Here's the last trip down the floor.
Isaac Haas. How do you not find a 7-footer? I'm not sure. Pinder decided to rotate up. He's got to stay with Haas right near the basket. You never leave anybody open at the rim. Again, another teaching point in the film session.
And Keanu Pinder's a senior, yes, but this is just his 2nd year of the program. You've got transfers, you've got freshmen. Here's the good news, you got plenty of time to figure it out.
And Brandon Randolph showed himself tonight for Arizona. Showed that he can make threes and make buckets.
If that is on Ayton, that is his 5th. DeAndre Ayton will exit 2 rebounds shy of a double-double. And so Ayton, and in fact, yes, Dusan Ristich has fouled out as well. So both center footers are gone. Arizona down 18 with 4:32 to go. Credit Purdue for attacking inside and out.
And that's part of the growth process for DeAndre Ayton, to understand when you're defending a guy your size. He didn't defend anybody like that in high school. He didn't see size like that on a nightly basis. He's got to learn how to defend the 6'8" small ball, versatile guy, and the 7-footer who may be as strong as him. I'll tell you what, he approached tonight's game like a veteran. His effort was good. His production level was very good. And he's going to be outstanding this year. As long as he continues to want to learn the game and grow in the game, he's going to be sensational this year for Sean Miller.
The second lead of 20 points for Purdue tonight. Randolph. Rebound to Purdue. And it is a Purdue team that is +6 on the glass today.
And their schedule does not get any easier, Purdue.
Count the basket. 22-point lead. The Boilermakers, they are alive tonight. And looking to take down number 2. Purdue from the outside, 11 triples today, and that's just about sunk Arizona.
Well, anytime you make double-figure threes, you have a great chance to win. And when you make three-point shots, it energizes your defense. It gives you that confidence the next time you shoot the basketball. It spaces the floor. It spreads the floor. It's a game changer.
We were having some fun with it before about how this may be the most highly anticipated 7th-place game in Battle for Atlanta's history, but both of these teams started 0-2. You asked the question before this one, who is going to show up with the energy? And Arizona has led for just seconds in this game. That's it. It's been Purdue from the start.
We'll give a lot of credit to Matt Harms for Purdue. I mean, he was energetic, full of life when he got into the game. He made momentum-changing plays, block shots, slips to the basket. And each and every possession, he's doing it right now. He's talking, he's bouncing on his toes.
He's a freshman.
So that brings energy to the court, but it gives energy to his teammates. It was contagious tonight.
Well, he's got a mean left hook, too. The fist pumps throughout the evening. Jars it away into Lee's hands. Trier gives it up this time, and way off the mark. That was Jackson Cartwright. Sean Miller's team just about at 3 minutes and 24 seconds left. They could be leaving this tournament with 3 losses after starting the year 3-0. Villanova, the champions earlier today, over Northern Iowa. How about another for Dakota Mathias? 25-point lead, the largest of the day. Mathias has 21. This is domination right now for Purdue.
Mathias gets most of his points behind the arc. That time, he said, let me post up. Shot fake the freshman. Let me teach him a thing or two.
Mathias, one of the best pure shooters in school history. Harms, he was looking for his 6th block of the night. 16-2 run for Purdue. Right when Arizona challenged this squad. An 8-0 run cut it back to a 12-point game. But then Purdue foot on the gas since.
Arizona made their runs, and they did it with some good defense, transition offense, but Purdue answered every single time, and they answered with the 3-point shot, or Isaac Haas inside, or Matt Harms.
Ping-balled to Edwards. Mathias on the fast break.
just keep this in mind. It's a long season.
Yep.
It's the day after Thanksgiving, I think. All right, we've been here for a while. It's a long season. There's a lot of games to go. And don't forget, you have semester break where there's no school. And the coaches can utilize their practice time as much as they want. You're going to see a big improvement from both Arizona and Purdue at that time.
Carson Edwards and the rest of his starting unit, they receive the applause that they deserve.
No Joe Eastern, Brian Klein, you got to get the walk-ons a shot. That was a walk-on, I know. One thing you have to do is when you touch it, you have to shoot it. And they're going to run that Purdue offense.
There's Klein, down and out. Now Eastern, the freshman, with some productive minutes in the second half, and he's out there with Eden Ewing, Jaquil Taylor, Grady Eifert.
And the staff is really high on No Joe Eastern, 20 in the white, former ESPN 100 player. Vince Edwards graduates. No Joe Eastern's going to fill his role to play the 4 or the 3.
Boilermakers in the top 20 entering this tournament. Yes, suffered the tough loss to Tennessee in overtime, and that is a Vols team that is better than you think. Western Kentucky, as we talked about, probably beat them up physically yesterday, but the intensity was back today against the number 2 ranked team in the country. And if this score holds with 90 seconds left, it's almost a sure thing now. This would be the highest ranked win for Purdue since February of 2011, where the Boilermakers took down second-ranked Ohio State. Randolph up and under, and he is heading to the free throw line. If you're looking for a bright spot, it's been Brandon Randolph. So you've got a couple days, turn it back around, you face Long Beach State. But then, Texas A&M. That's a neutral site game, if you will. It's out of Tucson in Phoenix. And then Alabama. That is an improved Alabama team on December 9th.
And they have a tremendous set of freshmen with Colin Sexton and John Petty. 2 of the best freshmen in the SEC. The game at New Mexico is not going to be easy. It's a great home court advantage.
Yeah, don't forget about the road game. Now, Sean Miller's team, every team he coaches is defensively elite just about every year, but they're going to give up 90 points twice in this tournament.
He'll make the corrections. They've won 4 outright Pac-12 regular season titles under Sean Miller and 2 Pac-12 tournaments. He's been the Pac-12 Coach of the Year 3 times. For the Arizona fans saying, what's wrong with our team? They're young. They have an injured player in Raleigh Alkins, and they have a lot of work to do. But it's a long season. They may not be the number 2 team in the country, but they're going to be really good.
Tommy Luce. Taylor was shot affected. The Purdue Boilermakers bounce back from 2 losses. They close down Imperial Arena with 11 triples and blow past number 2 in the country, 89-64. Matt Harms, 5 blocks. Keep an eye out for the freshman. Matt Painter's team bounces back and now 5-2 on the season with matchups against Louisville and Maryland and Northwestern looming next week. They shut this place down, including Carson Edwards, with their shooting display today. Villanova, the tournament champions, taking down Northern Iowa. We have had so many close games. This final one, though, makes it official. The number 2 ranked team in the country goes winless in the battle for Atlantis. Boiler up. Purdue shoots 57% from the field in an 89-64 win over Arizona. Paul, this has been fun. For Paul Biancardi, our excellent crew all week long in the Bahamas, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying good night. Purdue wins by 25. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live on the ESPN app. Watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Log on to thewatchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.